Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. My name is Masita from class B. On this occasion, I am presenting the rules of an interview about the role of literature in teaching English, a foreign language. I will share a summary of the interview with for Ms. Fajriani SSMA, a lecturer and practitioner in the field of teaching English as foreign language, with interviews by Risdayanti, Nabila Ramadhani, Masita, dan N. Asmiati. Okay, let's get straight to the point. The material, the role of literature in teaching English as foreign language. Introduction. This interview aims to explore academics' views on the role of literature in teaching English as a foreign language, or EVL. Our research person is Ms. Fajriani SSMA, an experienced lecturer in the field of English language and literature education. She is known for having an integrative approach in the teaching that combines linguistic, literary, and cultural dimension. Throughout this interview, we want to understand how literature can be used to improve EVL student communicative competence, critical thinking, and intercultural awareness. Main findings based on the interview result, there are several important points that provide new and in-depth understanding regarding in integration of literature in English in language learning. The role of literature in improving communicative competence. Literature introduces authentic language such as idioms, figurative language, and cultural reference through story, poems, and dramas. Students learn to understand and use language in real and meaningful contexts. And B. Criteria for selecting literary texts. Texts are selected based on three main aspects: student language proficiency level, cultural relevance, both local and foreign, and the suitability of terms, the super learning objectives such as vocabulary, enrichment, and argumentative writing skills. And C. Example of practice practical as of literature. Ms. Fajriani uses the short story shooting and Eleven by George Orwell. This test engages critical discussions of colonials and moral dilemmas, as well as narrative writing, exercised from the perspective of the main character that helps develop student empathy. And literature in language learning assessment. Literature can be used the information-based assessments such as analytical styles, character journals, and group discussion assessment, emphasizes understanding of content as of evidence from the text and accuracy of language. And E. Relevance of literature in modern language teaching. Despite the popularity of communicative methods, literature remains relevant because it conveys universal human experience. Activities such as debates, role plays, and creative reading can strengthen multiple multiple language skill at once. Eighth, empathy and intellectual awareness through literature. By reading works such as the K-trans, students learn to understand different cultural perspective and values. Class discussion broaden the horizon about the relationship between language and culture. And the last G, a student responses to poetry and drama. Students responded positively to poetry and drama, although in early stage they became more confident through exploration of symbols and rhythm and roles in the drama that made them more experienced. Implication for the teaching profession. This interview provides a very valuable reflection for us as prospective English teachers. Some important implications for future teaching practice include an humanist and contextual approach. Literature not only teaches language structure but also human values, social perspective, and cultural awareness. This approach makes learning more meaningful and relevant to student daily lives. And B, development of 21 sensory competencies. Through literary text, students learn to think critically, empathize, collaborative, and express themselves creatively. And these are important skills needed to face global challenges in the future. And C, integration of authentic assessment. Teacher needs to as performance-based assessment, such as analytically assessed character journals of drama performance. This model assesses student ability more comprehensively, not only in trend or grammar, but also interpretation and expression, and the selection of sensitive and relevant materials. The literary text chosen must consider the student cultural background and emotional sensitive. And teachers are responsible for creating texts that are not only linguistic effective, but also builds character and ethic. And the last, overcoming student awkwardness. When students feel shy or afraid to perform, teacher need to create a safe and supportive learning environment with constant encouragement. A student can become more confident and actively participate in class, especially in activities such as poetry and drama. Conclusion: this interview has provided valuable insights into a significant role of literature in AVL teaching. Ms. Fajriani emphasized that literature goes beyond language and interaction. It fosters cultural awareness, empathy, and critical thinking. As future teachers, we are encouraged to adopt an integrative and creative approach that treats a language not only as a tool for communication, but also as a medium for exploring, identify, and human values. And literature therefore becomes a bridge that connects language learning with personal growth and cultural understanding. this is, I think that's all. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.